you got this. You're gonna wake up and we can do this. It's midnight, but it's also Friday, so it's fine. Don't worry about it. Hello, my internet friends. It's me, Jay. I am back with another video. It is a tag. I've been tagged. Woot woot. I've actually been tagged by 2 different people. Thank you, Rosika from the Midnight Reader and Leo Bancroft. By the way, Leo, this is the second time I'm recording this. Something weird happened to the footage from the first time, and honestly, you know, I was really sleepy when I recorded that time anyway, so it's probably better that I had to redo it. Sleepy unscripted Jay is, we're learning. And anyway, today I am doing the Wishful Thinking Tag, and this is a really cool tag, so thank you to the person who came up with it. Editing Jay, please, look that up later. We are too sleepy for this. You can only ask so much of sleepy in the moment filming Jay. I guess like before I get started, let's tag some folks. I've connected with a few new booktubers, so I am tagging Jennifer Loves Books, Sluggish Reader, and Darby Jasmine. Darby, hopefully by the time you're watching this, you have broken 100 subscribers. I'm very proud of you. I don't even know if Darby follows me back. I guess I should tell her that I tagged her. But she's very funny. As for Jennifer Loves Books and Sluggish Reader, we are both mutual follows, so hopefully you see this and you know that I tagged you so you can do it yourself. And both of you, I think, based on, you know, the other content I've seen on your channels, I think you'll love this tag. So I hope you do it. Okay. Anyway, let us get into the questions. I feel like Scripted Jay is on fire. Like, I can already feel like I'm so much more alert and so much more concise than the first time around. So we're learning. Unscripted Jay is not the way to go. Okay, so question 1, legacy. Is there an author that you wish was alive today to see the impact of their work? You know, personally, I don't have an answer for this just because I don't have a strong connection to any authors who are dead, but I just kind of wanted to spotlight some answers from other booktubers that I followed that I thought were amazing. First, I thought Leo's was amazing. Leo's answer was Bell Hooks, who is an African-American writer, scholar. Fun fact is, one of my boss's favorite authors, and I took Leo's video as a sign to finally read some of her work. Right now I'm reading one of her first big, like, well-known books, Ain't I a Woman? And it talks about, you know, the Black female experience, how that intersectional identity was, I mean, for a lack of a better word, fucked over by white society. I'm so sorry. Sleepy Jay is not articulate. But I did look up some information about bell hooks before hopping on today, if you'll allow me to bring the laptop into the screen. So bell hooks is a pen name, and she purposely spells it in all lowercase because one, the original bell hooks was her maternal grandmother, and she, you know, wanted to both honor her maternal grandmother without, like, taking over her name, and also she wanted people to focus on the message and not her name itself, which is why she chose to spell her pen name in all lowercase. Currently, like I said, I'm reading her book Ain't I a Woman, which is one of her first big published works. It was published in 1981, and in 1992 it was named one of the most influential women's books in the last 20 years by Publishers Weekly. And I really like the book, and I'm actually planning on recording another video where I'll briefly mention it as, like, one of, like, my book recommendations, and I can go into more of my thoughts on it there. But, like, in short, I don't think you need convincing for me to read bell hooks. I feel like if you haven't read her works yet, and that includes myself in that, we should be ashamed of ourselves and we should get on that. I'm including myself in that as well, because it took me too long to start reading her things. Additional answers that I thought were great. I thought that Sassy Library Fox, I thought your answer was amazing. Her answer was Oscar Wilde, and thank you for teaching me about Oscar Wilde. Like, I didn't know that Oscar Wilde was gay, and, you know, I was pleased to learn about that, and I loved your answer and the love that you had for him in that answer. It was just really sweet. The only work I'd ever read of Oscar Wilde was The Importance of Being Earnest, and I mean, I'm tempted to revisit that book now that I have, like, slightly more pleasant feelings at the time that I read it. I was a stupid teenager who resented reading anything that wasn't fantasy. Thank you for sharing that information with me. Rosika, I also liked your answer. Not to judge people's answers, I'm sorry. I'm not like saying like, look at these people who had amazing answers. I'm sure everyone who had an answer for this, like, I'm sure all of those answers were amazing answers. It's more like I don't have one. But I also liked Rosika's answer. She gave two people for this. She said Jane Austen and Louisa May Alcott, and I personally have a slightly stronger connection with Louisa May Alcott just because I have read Little Women more recently, and I did love the 2019 movie. It's an entirely biased connection, and it's really like not based in anything other than like, dang, those actors really fucking killed it in that movie adaptation. But I thought that was a really great answer, and I love the idea of seeing this female writer, seeing how influential and how amazing and how far like her book has persisted in public relevancy all these years later. I think that's amazing. I don't know, maybe I'm projecting, like, because I want to believe that you would be happy to see like women like not having to rely on marrying men to like eat, you know, like I'd like to think she would be happy about that, but I'm also kind of aware that like, as you know, someone from a completely different generation, like our idea of feminism is gonna look really different. I don't know like how much of a pioneer Louisa May was for her time, but you know, I do kind of like want like whatever afterlife to send her like a ping of like, hey, you're doing great, sweetie, like something like that. Oh my god. Okay, center ourselves. Let's get back on script before they think we're weird. Okay, I think I answered the question. In short, I just wanted to highlight other people's answers. Kind of thank you for teaching me something about these authors. So question 2, the theme is memory wipe. Which book or series do you wish you could forget, either so you could experience it again for the first time or forget completely? And for this, I would have to say House in the Cerulean Sea. I have it right here. Hold on. I finished it at like the end of like December 2021. Like honestly, the second I finished this book, I wanted to reread it. Like, but what happened is that since I already knew what happened, I just started skipping around to different parts I knew I liked. But what I wanted was to just experience the whole story again. But I couldn't like recapture that joy I felt when I was going through the book for the first time, because I already knew what was going to happen. And so without a doubt, this is the book I would choose to forget just so I could re-experience it. Yeah. I mean, this is like an interesting thing. Like, I don't know if you'll care about this answer, and editing Jay can decide if she wants to take this out. Like, some people like put as their answers like seriously read when they were kids that they would want to forget so they could re-experience it. And like personally, I think those are valid answers. I just think that like personally, that isn't my answer, because like if I was to go with like a childhood book, I wouldn't want to experience it for the first time as an adult. I think like part of what makes the series that I loved as a kid so meaningful is that I was the age it was marketed to. Like, for example, I'm listening to a podcast about an adult man who's reading the Percy Jackson series for the first time, and he loves it. He is so into it, and he like really is enjoying the series. However, I feel like, you know, while the Percy Jackson series holds up, like, no doubt, it's different experiencing it when you are 12 and you can believe that you are Percy, rather than being an adult reading about the adventures of this cool 12-year-old boy. You know, that's kind of like where I'm coming from. I want to read a book that I can fully experience, like, all the joy I would have, you know, and reading, like, a book that I would have liked more as a kid wouldn't, like, that's not how I want to use my wish. I just kind of want to share that perspective. It's like an alternate take, you know? Okay, so question 3, Destiny. Which character do you wish had a different fate? This is going to be an answer that surprises even me. I'm going to say Matthias from Six of Crows. Spoiler alert for Six of Crows, by the way. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't like Matthias. He is my least favorite crow by a wide margin. Like, I've read Six of Crows multiple times. My love for it has grown over the years, and during those years, I've, you know, cycled through my favorite character. Like, first I went through a Nej phase, and I went through a Kaz phase, and then I went through a Nina phase, a Jesper phase. Matthias has not even come close to having a phase. Like, in my ranking is a 5-way tie between Kaz, Inez, Jesper, Wylan, and Nina, and it is just 5 empty spaces, Matthias. Like, I don't know what it is. I think it's just that he's boring. I'm just gonna say it. He's boring, and I mean, he was a little sexist and racist when Nina met him, and I'm not sure how I feel about that, frankly. Like, I'm glad that he grew a little bit, but I feel like Nina has a lot of work ahead of her. And I'm like, Nina, are you sure that's what you want to take on emotionally? Are you sure it's worth it? I don't like Matthias. I think he's fine. I don't love him, though. But anyway, so what I'm gonna say is about the shock, y'all. I kind of wish he didn't die. I was a little sad when he died. I was like, wow, you're really gonna do that to Nina? Lee? And I was surprised because, like, according to Lee Bardugo, Matthias is her favorite character. And I was like, Lee, you're gonna do your boy dirty like that? You're gonna do your big blonde Zuko dirty like that? And then you're gonna make Nina sad? Because now Nina's sad. Why did you do that? That was so unnecessary. I don't know. Like, I was just upset that Nina was upset. If, that low-key, like, sexist, racist, hella conservative blondie is what makes her happy, then okay, Lena, I support it. And then Lee goes and kills him. I felt so bad for him. And I felt bad for her. She's sad now. I know she gets a girlfriend in the next series, but I didn't read the next series. I just wanted her to be happy. Like, maybe, like, he survives and later she breaks up with him because she fell in love with the hot blonde, the other girl. Like, maybe she breaks up with him. Like, that could also have been the ending, Lee. But don't make it, like, against her choice. Anyway, I'm definitely wasting my destiny wish there because there are so many other things I could do with it. But that's, like, the thing that's been at the top of my mind. I can't believe I'm wasting my wish on Matthias. Out of all the crows, Matthias is the one who gets my wish. Anyway, it's fine. It's fine. He wasn't that bad, and he does make Nina happy. So I stand by it. Matthias can have my wish. It's fine. Number 4, namesake. If a character was going to be named after you, what kind of person would you wish for them to be? And what sort of story would you want them to be in? Okay, so here's the thing. I'm a little too prepared to answer this question because I want to be a writer, and I have an unhealthy need to self-insert myself into every story I write. So I have a list. Okay, so currently, if we were going with, like, me, Jay, as I am, Jay Alba, who exists in the modern world, please ignore how much detail I put into this. So I'm imagining I am a post-college grad video fellow for, like, a company like BuzzFeed, right? Like, I'm imagining myself as, like, a video production assistant on BuzzFeed Unsolved, which is, for those of you who have lives, a paranormal ghost hunting, like, YouTube show. And, it's just, like, 2 goofy dudes, like, going around to haunted houses. And, of course, in my story, they would go into a real haunted house, and we would discover that I, the video intern, have the ability to see ghosts. And, like, I don't know, like, the ghosts are really, like there's a lot of buzzing activity because, like, maybe my family died in that house and I had, like, orchestrated this whole set so I could, like, learn more about them, but then I get more than I bargained for because now there's a demon and now I have to fight the demon. You hear that, Jay? That's the sound of all your subscribers leaving you. I don't know, like, I've been, like, really interested in, like, demon possession ever since I was, like, a teenager. So that story has kind of been, like, like, in this, like, desk drawer gathering dust until, like, I'm ready to, like, pull it out and, like, kind of, like, dust it off, So that's, like, I have a lot of details ready to go, like, off the top of my head of what I would want my story to look like. Honestly, if I could have it my way, I would want to be in a fantasy magical land. Oh my god. I'm giving you so much detail. Okay, so, like, my fantasy character persona, her name is Kyra. I dreamed of multiple fantasy stories since I was 12 years old, and every single one of them, the main character's name is Kyra. One day, someone else is going to publish a fantasy series with a main character named Kyra in it, and I will have missed my shot, but until that day, she is percolating in my mind, and you know, Kyra goes through a lot of different iterations. Currently, like, I don't know what her deal is. Like, sometimes I imagine her, like, in, like, a Game of Thrones-esque royalty situation where, like, she's trying to infiltrate the secret ruling class of all the royal people's wives who actually run the show. The only thing is, I don't really know anything about like anything that could make that story remotely realistic, but I kind of like the idea of her like infiltrating like this secret circle of wives. The story is not baked, like the oven is not even preheated on this story, but anyway, that's some information about me and all the things I want to do if I wasn't living in the real world. Leo had like such a normal answer for this. Like, it was embarrassing. He was like, oh, I don't know. I guess I would like to live on like 12 Baker Street, you know, like with Sherlock, and just be like really cool and be a detective. But I haven't really thought about it. And like, I'm here like, chapter 1. Anyway. Thank you for listening to all that. Let's get back on script, Jay. Number 5, collectible. Which fictional object do you wish you could own? I really and truly don't have an answer for this. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know. Okay, like, not to expose my weirdness even more, but when I was younger, I never was interested in stories about like magical objects. Like Ben 10, you know how Ben 10 had the watch that made him turn into things? Into monsters? I was like, yeah, but like without the watch, like you're just a kid. I was never really interested in like magical cool objects. I wanted to be the magical cool thing myself. So that's fun. I'm sure my therapist would have some thoughts about that. But anyway, I really like Rosika's answer. Rosika said Kel's jacket from A Darker Shade of Magic. And I would really love that because I don't really have a lot of clothes and I've never really like had a lot of like jackets, so that would be super helpful and practical. I would love to steal that answer. I'm not gonna lie, no, I don't want a Pokeball. No. Pokemon catching should be illegal. I know this is a little like basic and sad, but I kind of want to remember all. The problem with the remember all is that it just tells you you forgot something. It doesn't tell you what you forgot, famously. That is the flaw in the remember all's plan. But I do think that even just like being reminded you forgot something would be helpful for me to know. Because like when I'm working, like I often like get sidetracked, I totally forget to do things, and it would be helpful to have the remember all there to be like, hey, you're forgetting something. So that would be really helpful for me. I know that's a lame answer, but like, I don't know, I can't think of anything better on the fly. Number 6, the reset button. Which book or series do you wish was written by a different author? Okay, I really like this question, and I think I have a really cool answer to this question. A few months ago, I read this book called The Grace Year by Kim Liggett, and I really liked that book. I felt like it was a great exploration specifically into gender oppression, like gender oppression from like the lens of being white and being female, and I think that was good. Like, I wouldn't have wanted the author to go too broad and try to cover as many intersectional identities as possible and not do any of them justice. I would rather her dig in deep on one specific kind of aspect, and especially I looked at her picture and she looks white, and you know, that could be an assumption on my part, but if she is a white identifying person, then I think that it was to her strength to create a narrative that was within what she knew, because I think she did that perfectly. I think she did that so effectively. But I would love to see different iterations of the book The Grace Year with different intersectional identities. Oh my god, I didn't even tell you what the book is about. The book is really cool. So The Grace Year is about this community, and in this community where women have no rights at all, there is a belief that women have like some evil magic like in them that where they are capable of seducing men, and to rid themselves of this evil, of this power, when a group of girls turn 16, they are sent into the woods to live on their own for a whole year, and that year is basically a free-for-all year for them to expel and use up all of their magic. And when they come back, they are ready to be good, docile wives and mothers, etc. and the incoming Gracier girls don't know anything about what happens during this time when they're thrown into the woods. They just know that some of them won't come back alive. And it was such a good premise, and I felt like Kim Liggett executed it really well. There was no intersectional approach to that, and again, that's totally fine for her, but I would love to have seen like the Gracier but like a Black American experience, or the Gracier but taking place in a different a completely different country, or like the Gracier but the main character is non-binary but people label them as female. I would love to see like the Gracier but a Black intersectional experience, a Gracier and LGBT centric experience, the Gracier and like something like that. I think that would be so cool. If that sounds like something that's already been published, please let me know, because I would read it in a heartbeat. Oh my god, and we did it. That is the end of the video, just in time because I can feel the last of my wits leaving me. Yeah, this was great. I had a really good time filming this. Thank you, Leo and Rosika, for tagging me. That was really sweet of you. I love being tagged. Keep them coming. It takes me a while to film things, but like I do really enjoy it. To everyone else who is watching, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it, and I hope to see you in another video. Okay, bye.